This is my entry for the Dogtails StarSnap. For those of you who might not know, StarSnaps are a DreamSnap-like competition run by Mr. Star and Sky on his website Starlight Dreamers. This week's challenge was to do a snap based around dogs, and I knew I wanted to use Max and Lucky, and try to use Max's playful greeting to make it look like he wanted to play with Lucky. I also decided I wanted to do a fake indoor shot outdoors, so I started by grabbing the Wanderer combination cupboard for my walls, and the carpet for the flooring. Made a hole for the front door, and tried to cover the whole living room area with carpet. Filled in the sidewalls, and went looking for a good couch. Trying to figure out where along the wall I want it. Realized that was way too much room, making the room smaller. Cutting out some of the wall for a window behind the couch. Trying to get a better angle. Grabbing a love seat, and debating which side I wanted on. Scooting it a bit, and putting a fireplace on the other side. Looking for a coffee table. I wasn't really sure what style I wanted for it. I liked that the large glass one looked like it fit both couches, but it was a little big, so I debated it while I shortened the wall, since it was feeling a bit too long. Trying to get a better angle. Looking for an end table. I wanted a glass one to match the coffee table, but they didn't feel right, so I ended up using a wooden one, and grabbing my favorite, the chest coffee table instead, which didn't fit the couches as well, but felt like it left more room for the dogs to be playing. Adjust the doorway placement, and grab the door divider to use as my front door. Trying to figure out the right angle it needs to be to only show one of the doors, and have it feel natural as a door. Moving my wall over to help hide the other doors, trying to get it in the right spot, and continuing the wall behind the love seat. Twisting the door a little bit, and moving the end table as it was starting to feel a little too crowded there. Scooting the coffee table over a bit, and adding another end table. Getting a toy ball for the dogs to be playing with, looking for some lights to put on the end tables, and grabbed the quirky table light, as I thought it matched the best. And the window was feeling incomplete, so I was looking for an all-white counter to match the wall to use as a windowsill. And that's feeling better. Trying a plant next to the couch by the entry, as it was starting to feel too empty, and I was hoping the plant would feel less blocking, grabbing the white orchid in a pink pot to put on the coffee table, and decided it was time to start filling in the outside. Grabbing the leafy birch tree, and adding a few. And got rid of the center one, to put a house there instead. And grabbed the greenhouse cottage, as I thought it was pretty, and most of my other neighborhood-looking houses were already placed down for other snap builds. Adding another tree, and decided I really liked the idea of having falling leaves out the window. So I went looking for the autumnal carriage, which for some reason I had a hard time finding. A really hard time finding. I thought I had favored it, but apparently I hadn't. Finally just sorted by orange and got it to come up. Put two outside the window. Remembered I needed a critter house. And using a bunch of rocks to block off the area. Putting Lucky in the house. Waiting for him to come over so I can freeze him next to the toy. And I hit the wrong button. I did not mean to threaten him into compliance with the lightsaber. Petting him and immediately going into furniture mode to glitch him. Checking if he's walk throughable. And he is, so it worked. But he's too far back. Petting him again to unfreeze him. Trying again. And I like that placement better. So, adding Max to the house. Moving the house over to the other side of the wall. Checking camera placement. Realized I wasn't going to be able to get the camera low enough to cut off the gap above the door. So, adding more wall behind to fill in. Checking if that's better. Considering the cat pose. Scooting up a little. And Max doesn't seem at all interested in saying hi to Buzz, who I was hanging out with since he was nice and small and I could hide in the corner. So I pulled him out and fenced in the area, so I could stop hanging out with him and he could have some wandering area, since I have found they are more likely to greet each other when they first enter the greeting range. Getting back into position. Max still doesn't want to say hi to Buzz. So, getting Eric and Ariel, since he should acknowledge them. And they didn't want to come. So I tried a few others I thought he might say hi to. Grabbing Mickey first, and bringing him over to the fenced area. Pulling Moana over with selfie mode, and locking her in the fenced area. Trying to see if Max will say hi to either of them. Can't tell. Grabbing Ariel, who apparently did come. Trying to bring her with me back to the build, but too many trees blocking the way. Decided to just go into the fenced area, blocking it behind me so no one escapes. trying to see if Max greets her, which I was pretty sure he would. And he does. So pushing her closer to the wall. Then decided I just want to bring her with me and hide her off camera. Since Max would wander around, I was hoping he would still greet her, as I wanted to get Max doing his playful hello towards Lucky, so keeping her hidden behind him would help with that. Getting into position, debating if I want to hide my character, so the focus is solely on the dogs. But it's feeling too empty without my character. Since my character is getting cut off a little, I wanted to try the robot pose instead. And I like that. Checking where Max went, and he's pushing Ariel. Getting him to move, pushing Ariel back, and blocking off the spot behind her. Getting back into position, back to waiting. Making Ariel invisible so I can see what Max is doing. Hiding the other villagers, hoping to get Max to stop trying to run wherever he's trying to get to. He finally decided to stop and went completely to an unhelpful corner to do his greeting. At least he's moving again. Adjusting my character's angle a bit. More adjusting. Back to waiting. And he seems stuck in that corner now. Getting him out. Trying to block that area off a bit so I can corral him to where I want, and block him in with Touch of Magic. That I can hide when he does his greeting and get the shot. Getting back into position. My character's a little further back than I wanted, but at least Max will stay in the area now. Now to wait for him to do his greeting. And he seems stuck. Hiding the Touch of Magic and getting the shot since he's at least facing Lucky. And now he does his greeting. And managed to catch him without exiting camera mode. Back to waiting. And he's refusing to do his greeting. So, giving him a little more room to move around. Hoping that will help. Trying to see why he seems to be stuck. And I think he's trying to get to Rapunzel, on the other side of the wall. And I figured maybe they're all just too far away for him to greet? So I put down some extra toys, as blockers, and opened the wall on the other side of the fireplace, pulling Mickey closer with selfie mode, and blocking him in. Making Max area smaller, and blocking Mickey in with Touch of Magic instead. Trying to see if he'll greet him or Ariel. Not looking good. Moving some things around to block Mickey in, and try to get Moana next to him, hoping Max will be able to go back and forth between greeting the three of them, without having them have to wander around. Getting Ariel back into place, and she got stuck on something, but I figured I could just hide her in camera mode. Giving Moana and Mickey a little more room, since she seems stuck there. Pulling her close with selfie mode, and blocking her closer. Max is still refusing to greet any of them, so I gave him a little more room, in case he can't reach them. Still nothing. Moved Mickey and Moana's blockers, to let them come a little closer. Checking how that's looking. And still nothing. Making a separate area for Ariel so I can release her and she can wander a bit, to see if that helps. Pushing her back a little, considered using a fence to block her in, but switched to the rocks, since they're shorter and will have smaller shadows. Back to waiting. Decided to give Moana and Mickey a little more room to wander. Not yet, I'm not ready! At least he's greeting someone now, even if he did it too soon and was facing the wrong way. And again, facing the wrong way. Adjusting Ariel's area, hoping to get her closer on the other side, so he will do his greeting in that direction. And they don't want to cooperate. Grabbing Rapunzel, and adding her to Ariel's area, hoping she will be more cooperative. Pulling them closer and making their area narrower, hoping that will help him greet in the right direction. Getting back into place. Blocking Pua off camera, since he is currently hanging out with Moana, and I don't need him for the shot. And he's stuck again. Thankfully he fixed it himself. And he did it! But I didn't want Pua in the shot, and he felt too far over, making the room feel rather empty. So, adjusting his blockers to try and get him closer to where I want, while not quite having enough Touch of Magic trophies to do what I want. Considered using the rock, but I was pretty sure that was going to be in frame, so I took one from behind the coffee table and put another toy there, since you wouldn't be able to see it there anyway. And Pua trapped Mickey, and Max is back to ignoring Ariel and Rapunzel, who seem to be stuck in that corner. and got rid of that part of the wall to give them a little more room. And since they didn't really want to cooperate with me, I decided to just grab a bunch more villagers, since surely one of them would be more cooperative, right? Going out and grabbing Merida, putting her in the front, since that is the direction I want him to turn, so more over there made sense. Adding Flynn. I didn't mean to grab Scar, and didn't want Max growling, so I blocked him away from the area. And I missed him. Opened it up, pushed him in, blocked it off. Grabbed Donald. Since Mickey was likely going to be in the shot, I thought it could be fun to add Donald, so I blocked him in there for now since I need to be able to get in and out. Grabbed Joy and blocked her in the front as well. Added Stitch next. Then Wally, and was starting to wonder if I went a little overboard with the amount of villagers I called. And grabbed Minnie to add into the shot. Fixed the wall. Got rid of the blockers around Donald, since he shouldn't be able to get past Minnie with the blocker right there, and my character should block off the only other exit point. Need to scoot over. Trying again. Donald, don't push Minnie. And now Minnie's not in a good spot. Pushing her back over. Putting another toy down to stop him from pushing her. Rude, Donald. Rude. Donald, move. Please. And of course you do that while Donald is blocking my character and Minnie. Giving Max a little more room so he can maybe do his greeting a little closer to Lucky. And the coffee table is feeling a little off-center. And I want to move the end table up so it can show a little bit at the edge of the screen. So, scooting the end table, and shifting the coffee table. And giving them a little more room. And I want to move my character over to the other side of the table, where it will be less crowded. And I released Max, and Donald is now in the wrong spot. Pushing Donald out. Trying to get Max back over there. Donald, don't go back in. Getting Donald back out. Moving the blocker to keep Donald over there. Pushing Max in. Adjusting the blocker. Getting into position. Need to scoot. Trying again. Back to waiting. Why is almost everyone in that one small corner? Adjusting the fence to give them a little more room. And adjusting Max's blockers a little too. Back to waiting. Giving them more room, since they seem to be stuck in the corners. And got the shot. It wasn't what I had originally wanted, but I'm pretty happy with it. And for those who might be wondering, this shot got rank 21. If you're curious, it took about 3.5 hours to do this snap. I will leave a link to the site in the description in case you want to check it out, or join me for the next challenge. Thank you for watching the video. Please like it if you found it at all helpful, and subscribe if you want to see more like this.